Eleanor, that was nothing short of sensational.
Oh, yes, it was, Eleanor. The only thing I would suggest is that when you do that crippled crossover, when the heel drops clearer, so the cramp roll comes through.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Morgan. I'll remember that.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Now, you can take a rest now.
Thank you.
Listen, Senator Morgan, where do you get off giving dancing instructions to the greatest woman tap dance in the world? Why, there's 70 dancing clubs named after Eleanor who are listening in tonight.
Yes, but my dear boy, the girl has talent. Why shouldn't I give her the benefit of my 10 years' experience as the director of the International Russian Ballet?
You were the director of the Russian Ballet?
I was director and premier dancer, if you please, in sole charge of the corps of 250 beautiful ballerinas. The finest ballet the world has ever known, under His Royal Highness Alexandrovna Vasilev Bubushka II. In fact, it was common knowledge, young, that I was Diaghilev's greatest pupil, and it was a clear case of the pupil outshining the master.
You did all that, huh?
Yes.
Well, what about Pajinsky?
What's that?
Pajinsky.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, Tovarich, I often long for those glamorous days in old St. Petersburg, with a gay throng of us driving down the Nevsky Prospect in a droshky after the showski. The performance. Yes, there's a long in my soul, a definite ache for the ballet.
Oh, a ballet ache. Frank, if you were doing so well in the Russian ballet, how did you happen to leave the country?
Well, you must remember that in those days I was even more sensitive than I am now, if that's possible.
I think it is.
Peasant. I had the sensitive soul of an artist, and I left Russia because of one remark from the lips of His Royal Highness, Prince Metternich.
Now, what did His Highness say?
Well, he said, if you're not out of here by tomorrow morning, you'll be shot.
Oh, so you took the hint.
Yes, and the train, and the 250 ballerinas. But that was only the beginning of what
Frank, why did the prince chase you out of Russia? Did you have trouble with the princess?
What an idea. In those days, Bob, there was a good deal of social unrest in Russia. Agricultural difficulties, economic disturbances.
Frank.
Things that were...
Frank.
Yes?
Why did the prince chase you out of Russia?
Young, you have a one-track mind. Unfortunately, you're on the right track. The princess was indirectly concerned with my tragic departure.
Oh, indirectly?
Yes.
All right, let's have the story.
Well, Her Royal Highness was a well-preserved woman of about, 19. Like most of the other ladies of the court, she had implored me to give her private dancing lessons. On account of her high rank, I was unable to refuse. So one day in her boudoir...
Boudoir?
Yes, that's a strange place for a piano, wasn't it? But come to think of it, we never had anybody to play it.
Oh, no music, but you were teaching the princess to dance.
My dear boy, she wanted to learn interpretive dancing. But one day in the middle of the lesson, the prince happened to walk in. He was the only man in St. Petersburg that wore rubber heels on his boots.
Wait.
I had to leave Russia.
What for? He only found you giving his wife lessons in interpretive dancing.
Interpretive dancing. Yes, well, he got the wrong interpretation.
Well, where did you go then, Frank?
Well, I fled to warm-hearted Paris, where I was received with wild acclaim. It was there I created and first presented my famous terpsichorean masterpiece, L'après-midi d'un faune.
What does that mean?
The afternoon of a phony. You should have seen me, Bob. I danced with the grace of an antelope, the speed of a flying bird, the lightness of thistledowns. I'd whirl out of a pirouette into an arabesque, out of an arabesque into a tour jeté, out of a tour jeté into a saloon.
The Parisians liked that, huh?
Liked it. They were delirious. They wouldn't let me leave the stage until I'd given 39 numbers.
39?
Yes.
Well, you must have had a large repertoire.
Yes, but I went on a diet. Anyhow, they kept calling for Morgan in spite of the fact that the celebrated Yvette was still to make her appearance.
Well, who was Yvette?
Oh, she was a fascinating woman in an unyielding sort of a way. I think her mother was frightened by a Frigidaire. Anyway, there she stood, tapping her feet impatiently in the wings while I took encore after encore. Finally, I begged off. The orchestra struck up Yvette's first number, and poof, the electrician fainted.
Yeah.
But I leapt to the switchboard myself as she danced onto the stage. My natural instinct for color led me to perfect lighting combinations, which made her number a sensation.
Well, that was quick thinking, Frank.
Oh, yes. At the conclusion of her first number, I plunged the stage into darkness so Yvette could make a quick change of costume. The orchestra was already playing the introduction when she suddenly called for her tights. Instantly, pandemonium reigned.
Why?
I thought she said light. It was a very unfortunate mistake, but not a single ticket holder complained.
Well, I bet you gave up dancing after that.
Until today, I made a little deal with Eleanor Powell.
What kind of a deal, Senator?
Well, I teach her ballet, and she's trying to get me the jitterbug votes for my senatorial campaign. Come on, Eleanor, explain it.
The voters are all jitterbugs, and you must be right with them. If you want to get their votes, first you have to get their rhythm.
You mean if I don't sing and swing, I haven't got a chance?
Well, singing is important, but what's more, you've got to dance.
Well, lady, your suggestion to me suddenly is clear.
If you really get my meaning, give the folks a rough idea.
Well, I just waltz or do the rumba. Any dance I do can't miss. My collection will be in the bag with campaign songs like this. So, dance up to the ballot box and cast your vote for me.
From Maine to Tennessee, it's Morgan.
Put the tap dance on the map and spread the word around.
A new swing king's been found, and it's Morgan.
My friends, when I'm elected, I will change the laws around. I promise bigger, big apple.
How's about trucking on down?
Dance up to the ballot box and cast your vote for me.
We'll have a jubilee for Morgan.
I'll make no boring speeches and no politicians talk. Down the aisle in Morgan style, we'll do the Lambeth walk. When I get to Washington, I'll live up to my rep.
We'll start the whole world dancing, and we'll swing along with pep. Take it, Frank.
Jubilee for Morgan.
The ballot box and sing. Vote, 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 vote.
Bob, it's the halfway mark.
Oh, yes. Now for that pleasant custom, the moment of relaxation over a steaming, fragrant cup of Maxwell House coffee. You know something, Ted?
What's that?
For a long time now, we've always invited our friends listening in to keep us company with a cup of Maxwell House coffee. I wonder how many people actually do.
Well, I don't know, Bob, but I'd like to ask all our friends to join us right now in a friendly cup of the new Maxwell House.
That's a good idea, Ted, and we'll ask Meredith to pour out some music to go along with it.
We now pause briefly for station identification.